Hello, Payne here. Marriage, politics, and sports. Today we're going to talk a little bit about obesity. And I can speak about this because at my worst, I was hitting some pretty heavy scales, man. I lost around 90 pounds, maybe put around 10 back on, but I'm still on that journey. But one of the things that's the biggest issue is that, like so many other things in the Black community, we tend to ignore the things that damage us the most. And the real problem with Black obesity, especially with our women, is that it's tending to be glamorized. It's championed, and there's nothing more insidious than a person telling somebody who's on their path to diabetes, sugar diabetes, heart disease, and every other ailment that it's okay to be as fat as you want to be as long as you're a nice person and just be you. It's just really damaging, and it's destructive, and it's real hatred that's going on in the Black community, self-hate. And so I got a couple of videos that I was going to show, and one brother who is a pretty good YouTuber, he talks about it from the standpoint that it's the man's fault that Black women are so fat because of our acceptance. And I've heard that from a woman before as well. And I'm not going to get into the details why. I'm going to let him speak about that. But it is true. There'll be men who, quote unquote, will take advantage of a woman. So, because they might be broke and, she's desperate for some love and feelings and stuff like that. And they'll take advantage of that. Now, a lot of big women will argue that that's not why they're being chosen. But, if I had to do the majority, this guy's really taking advantage of the fact that they might be lonely. But it's just not a woman's problem. It is a Black woman's problem for the most part. But just like I have on this picture, it's a Black man's problem too. But we deal with it in different ways. Black men don't have any problem telling each other, listen, you're a fat bastard, man. You need to go lose weight. But you really can't say that to a woman. You really can't. They get broken up over this shit. And the only reason why I'm talking about this because we got the recent news of the chick who wants to put her 600 pounds into a backseat of a guy's lift. And we're going to get to that. But I'm going to go through a couple of videos and say the things that people are saying for us to be this big, it's a lie. Like in the doctor's office, when I used to go to the doctor's office, the doctor told me for years, he says, listen, man, if you lose some weight, half the shit that I'm talking to you about, you don't have to worry about. Matter of fact, he said 80% of that shit, it'll go away. You can manage your sugar by what you eat, your high blood pressure, like most of the Black folks, whether you're fat or not, a lot of us have high blood pressure. And any other kind of ailment will go away. I had a knee operation because I ripped my some muscles off my knee. And the doctor told me, he said, hey, listen, he says, at your weight, I can only do so much, but I'll never get you back to 100% because you're too fucking fat. He didn't say it that way, but he might as well have. What's going on? What's happening, Curtis? Yeah, that lady could have, she could have asked for a forklift, not just a lift. But anyway, but the real issue really is that we have a big problem in the Black community not taking accountability as a whole for the dastardly things we do for ourselves, to ourselves, and the fact that we're being used by liberalism, by woke culture to say everything is okay. We could do anything, especially if and Black women, of course, are coddled. But Black men, not so much. Usually a Black man, when he gets around in circles with other Black men, maybe no guys as big as the behemoths as these guys, but usually Black men, if you're in a circle of guys who are in shape, they don't have no trouble telling you, listen, you need to get in the gym, man. You're too fat. I don't want to hear you talk about women. I don't want to hear you about, you know what to do. Go lift some weights, go run, do whatever else you have to do. But men don't really have trouble saying that shit to each other. Matter of fact, if all your buddies stop telling you that you're too fat, that's when you start worrying. that they say you're a lost cause. But for the most part, men are unmerciful with each other, and we understand that we need to get on the square. But with black women, not so much, because that lady in the Lyft drive getting all of this fucking sympathy and all that. People want this woman to pretty much delete. She's on her way to self-deletion, period. And nobody gives a shit because we're worrying more about how she feels as opposed to her telling her, listen, Chica, you are too goddamn big. You know, and the fact that she could walk around and rap and do all that shit, it's pretty amazing. But man, how about hygiene? All the shit that goes along with being big. You know, when you can tell when you're too big, when you can't wipe your own ass. Now, I've never been there. Okay, I never got that far, but I got far enough. You know, but it's just crazy. So anyway, I want to play this video, and the reason why I went live is because I just want to get some chops going live on my own channel. But I want to play this video with his brother talking about who he thinks is responsible for our women being so big. And I disagreed with him in the beginning, but you got to look beyond it. He has a few other things, and he has some things to say. I'll be chopping it up, and then I'm going to show another video about some other, some more all stuff dealing with obesity. And I'll probably do a bigger stream probably on Black Man Unfiltered's network, not this Monday coming up, but maybe the Monday after next. I might have try to get a collaboration with somebody up here on that, a woman, so we could have men and women, because we look at this shit differently. The women really look at. I mean, if you ever see this Fabletics ad, they have a white man, he's in great shape. They got a white woman, she's in great shape. And then they have a big ass black woman in yoga pants doing fucking yoga. And she's like as big as a house. I said, well, so they're even marketing shit to, big black women as opposed to a woman looking svelte and beautiful and marketable, right? They're saying there's so many big fat black women that it's more profitable to show fat women on TV than beautiful women, black women. It's crazy. We've gone too far. And nobody gives a shit about black men. We're on our own. We got to do what we have to do to get back in shape. But let me go ahead and put this video up by my man, and we'll go from there. Because I'm gonna stop it and start it. I got a couple of minutes to go tonight, so I'm not really worried about being rushed. Where's this shit at? Where is he at? Not in. No. Do this. All right.
Through Facebook, and this video popped up of this one black woman. She showed her transformation, and this sister lost a good amount of weight. And like I said, I was like, oh man, this is so impressive. So let me show you the actual video real quick of her transformation, and I'm gonna get to why I really made the video. Now, as you saw, that sister lost a total of 158 pounds. Let's give her a hand clap on that. Like, man, that is some work. And she deserved all the accolades with her health and anything else that's going on with her, right? But the reason why I made the video is not about her transformation, which is very positive. I made the video because black men. Black people also, but I'm talking about black men. Let me pull up this comment up on the screen here. So you see this one black man, you are beautiful in both versions of your body transformation. The second one, 297 version was sexy also. And those two comments is the reason why I made the video. Now, some black men complain about black women's weight. But y'all have to understand there is a big percentage of black men that encourage obesity in our community. Well, black people in general kind of encourage obesity, and I'll get to that. We're talking about black men in particular. Do you know, like, think about it. Why do you think some black women say, I don't want to go to the gym because I'm going to lose my curves? We've heard them say this many, many times. Even the Crystalline Carrison has said that they told her that many, many times, right? Why would they fear losing weight? For what? Even though their doctor could say, hey, your weight is not good for your health. This is a health issue. This is not a vanity issue. Now, you know, yeah, you know, you lose weight, you look better, you look younger, X, Y, Z, but it's more so about your overall health. You have black men out here that encourage obesity, bottom line. And why would they lose weight? But at the same time, you'll complain about that woman. At 297 pounds for a woman, almost 300 pounds. She could have been dealing with high blood pressure, maybe on the borderline with diabetes. It could have possibly, she could have had sleep apnea, affect her breathing in general. Her knees could have hurt. Her ankles could have hurt because that amount of weight, that extra 158 pounds on her frame wasn't meant for that. But at, you know, for the way she's at now, that's the right way she should be. And for you to be encouraging.
She looks good, but listen, Phil is absolutely correct. You know, it's funny. Six the Goddess said something from her perspective that black men, the reason why black women are so big is because of black men. But her rationale was not only because we take advantage of it or we encourage it, it's because that our standards for women and their beauty is so low, because our self-esteem is so low. We'll take women no matter how they present themselves to us. And other races, especially like Asians and some other races like Indians, Asians, they ain't playing that shit. Well, anyway, so there is something to this. I really kind of don't like when men blame men for what the fuckery women do. But Phil Scott is a straight shooter, so I'm sure he doesn't say this out of the cuff. He certainly ain't no simp.
Sisters to be almost 300 pounds of saying, "Oh, you look good or you look sexy at 300 pounds." Then you want to talk about why some women in that weight range have this confidence and this is what Lizzo come from. See, the Lizzo attitude that some of y'all say, "Oh, why she act like that? Why she's talk like?" Because a lot of you brothers have encouraged that. You have. This is why they hated Kevin Samuels, because he would talk to him about that. And they never liked it because some of you brothers, they'll even tell Kevin, well, I can still get men anyway. So what is it about my weight?
Let me just say this. Lizzo, I think, lost a good 100 somewhere in there. So she's on the journey big time. She's showing herself off. And she says she got a long way to go, but she's ever since that allegation came around her, I guess it was like a wake-up call. I don't know how she got out of the allegation or if it's still pending, but she's losing weight like crazy.
How many times have you been told that? And they're not lying. When they say that to Kevin, they were not lying to him at all. They would still get some of you black men, but we know what kind of black men they would get. They'll get black men that's broke. They get black men that's dusty. That's the kind of black men they would get. But still, they still would get one, a man, right? Not the top tier man, but they would get a man. Or now let's talk about the black community in a whole.
Before he goes on to that, Six the Goddess was talking to Ace Metaphor and a girl Kita, who's in war with Ace Metaphor now. This was an old version. They had Six the Goddess on. And she was talking about fat women, and all the other people were so triggered, man. She says, listen, fat black women, they're going to get any man that comes their way, usually jailbirds or men off, trying to make a come up. So they'll use the black woman because she's low hanging fruit. And all the other women are getting all heated. And Six was just letting them have it, of course, she's fine as hell. but she's not a small woman either. I mean, she's in shape. But you know, if she let herself go, she will really be big. So she stays in great shape. So, oh man, it was something to see.
Oh, you can't tell me that she wasn't even. That's the dating aspect with men. Let's talk about the whole. They're having women that'll be telling her, "Why are you losing all that weight? Especially losing that much weight. Why you losing all that weight? You will look better when you was the way you were. Oh, you starting to look sick now. Look, you losing weight. Something wrong with you? Now, you didn't say something was wrong at 297 pounds, but now at this weight, something wrong with you. You need to eat. And shout out to Cookie Dyer from a Watch Cookie Shrink YouTube channel. She was 300 pounds and she lost all that weight.
Mm.
And Cookie had told me to my face that she lost friends and family members when she lost weight. She said that people saying the same thing to her. You looking sick. Like, why you don't want to eat what we eating? I feel some sort of way being around you, because she started getting attention that they wasn't getting, right? Because she got herself in shape. So you never have people in the Black community when they see you gain 20 pounds. Hey man, you kind of gain about 20 pounds. Look like, man, you gonna get sick. Nobody in the Black community tell you that. Only if you're losing weight, they got something to say.
Well, it's not necessarily, there's more of a woman thing. Because my buddies, when I was gaining weight, they were unmerciful. I had lost some and then I had some leg issues and stuff. But men will tell a man, yo, man, you're a fat bastard. And they'll say it just like that. They will, they're not going to, especially if you're close enough, they ain't going to sugarcoat it. But with women, women just can't, first of all, they don't like accountability. They can't take criticism, especially Black women. It's nothing good about being 400 freaking pounds, especially, not even especially, for a man or a woman. Nothing good about it. And everybody knows it. And that's the big issue that we have. Every single person knows that it's not good to be that big. It's dangerous, and coddling people to get through this and telling them they look good in that dress and they're wearing drapes and shit. It's crazy. I guess it's the Nell Carter syndrome. They had a show back on. Nell Carter must have been like 450 pounds. And she was like a maid or something. And she was a Black woman. And from then on, it seemed like it would be just downhill.
So you can't be encouraging obesity in the community, Black folk, and Black men in particular, the women. You can't be sitting up here saying that to her. That gives her like, oh, shoot, I don't have to do anything. I'm cool. But then you get on social media talking about women's weight. You can't like have it both ways, bro. I'm just saying, we need to stop encouraging obesity in our community because it's kind of killing us in the community.
It's not kind of killing us. It is killing us. But Phil, the one thing you have to understand, it's not the same men. It's not the same men. There's men, there's a lot of Black men who talk about that thick bullshit, and there's a whole lot of men who would rather their women be thin. So it's not the same men who would bust out the big women and then go complain about it. They're not the same men. They're different men. Is there some crossover? Maybe, but for the most part, the guys who like big BBWs admit they like BBWs. And the guys who don't like BBWs will admit that too.
High blood pressure will kill you. Diabetes will take you out of here. It will. People have died from sleep apnea. A lot of these things that we can't control. Do you know about 90% of the illnesses in America? A lot of it is through diet. And they say we can literally cure 90% of our illnesses in America if we just change our diet and work on ourselves. And I know in this country it's not easy. Trust me. I know it's not easy. If anybody don't, I know it's not easy. I know. It just takes time, hard work. It's very easy to get in that slump and not exercising. Trust me, I know. Back in May, I was heavy. Oh, I was heavy. A few months at that time, I dropped 40 pounds. I'm on my regimen one more time to knock it completely out where I want to be, right? You know, check this 1 week of doing what I'm doing. I already dropped 3 pounds. Like I said, I'm gonna be exactly where I want to be in the next few months, right? But it just takes time. It takes time. It takes effort. You know, we can't eat the pizzas and the candies and drinking the sodas. We gotta fall in love with water. You know, that sort of thing. We can't eat fast food. We can't be drinking ourselves to death, smoking up everything, ruining our lungs. We got to think a little different as a community, but we don't need to be encouraging, sisters in the community or even brothers too. Don't be encouraging a brother. I like big men. I love a big man. Like, okay, I'm not saying you won't be with a dude that's stick skinny. I'm not saying that, but don't be saying you love a big man and the brother's like 350, 400, 500 pounds. Don't We need to stop encouraging obesity if we want our people and our community to live with longevity.
Let me stop it right there. And he's absolutely right. One of the first things that I know I did was my diet is pretty good. You know, I don't eat a lot of junk food. I do have an occasional beer, but I don't drink a lot of liquor, a lot of beer. Uh, Drink a lot of water every day. I exercise, but I need to get on a better regimen. But I have a lot of exercise stuff that I do. Uh, so it's not easy, but you got to get in your head that you can't. I eat before a certain time of the day. You know, I don't eat at night. Those kind of things. What you got? Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? My doctor told me about these drugs. I said, "No, I'm not taking that shit, man. You know, I'm not taking anything because I've already proved to myself that I can shed the weight. Because when I got at my worst, I got down and lost like 90 pounds. I didn't do anything special. I changed my diet. I just worked out, and I just let time do the rest. But I was meticulous at it, and something I slipped a little bit here and there. But it's a new year. I'm gonna get back on the horse because I know what to do. But yeah, I'm not taking any more drugs for that. But so Phil Scott said his thing. So I got this. My next video is shorter, but I think you might have saw this one, Curtis. I don't know if you ever want to come up or anything. You can. I'll drop the link if you want to. Just let me know. But it's about this big fat lady who said racism made her fat, and she's talking to a whole. And here's the worst part of it is she's talking to an audience of women, and you could just tell the sister code is in full effect, and they're just blowing blue smoke up each other's ass because nobody's going to stand up and say, listen, this is just bullshit, right? And then they juxtapose that to a big hyena telling white people how fucked up they are. And it's crazy. I'm going to show you this. This is really something, so and if there was a crowd of black women in the audience, they would go crazy if somebody did this to them. All right, so we're gonna play this right now.
Racism that you're experiencing and the struggle to make ends meet actually means the diet don't work for you the same. I hate when people talk about black women being obese. I hate it. We are living in the Trump era.
White people are racist. So I put this up because I really want any white person in the room to know up front that this is what we're dealing with.
Black women, when we do the same diets as white women, we lose less weight and we lose it slower. The racism that you're experiencing and the struggle to make ends meet actually means the diet don't work for you the same.
That it's not going to be this coddling of white tears and what that looks like. We're not going to discuss, oh, maybe some of us have worked it out. No, you're always going to be racist, actually.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I mean, listen, when I heard, putting those two things together, can you imagine a white person standing up at the board or flip board saying, all you black chicks, you guys are predisposed to being fat bastards. And, since you're so fat, you're going to always be fat. There's nothing you can do about it. So she's standing in front of a whole bunch of white people saying this bullshit. And I can't imagine why nobody challenged her or even walked out the room. And this is the DEI class that they're in. It's absolutely absurd. But the juxtaposition of a woman who's like 300 pounds telling white people how bad they are is real in the backdrop of that other lady talking about racists making her fat. This is really powerful shit. And I'm going to use it again because I think I'm going to put something more cogent together. And I might do this for Black Man Unfiltered one of the Mondays. I'll be off this other Monday. But we got to talk about obesity a little bit. And so anyway, I'm going to finish letting this play. I just couldn't believe whoever put this together. Kudos, because I'm definitely going to put credit in the description.
We're taking care of kids, but our food quality suffers. And look, those policies kill our people. You can't get access to good health care, good insurance.
So even when you're on your path to trying to figure out how to be a better human being, because I believe that white people are born into not being human, like that actually instead of people.
What the fuck? What did she just say? Wait a minute, man. Wait a second. I got to go back a little bit. Stop.
That actually, instead of people of color and Black folks being dehumanized, that actually everyone is dehumanized off rip within white supremacy.
I feel like when I think about the trauma, the Black men have
dehumanized off rip within white supremacy.
I feel like when I think about the trauma,
to figure out how to be a better human being, because I believe that white people are born into not being human. Like that actually, instead of people of color and Black folks being dehumanized, that actually everyone is dehumanized off rip within white supremacy.
I feel like,
well, I mean, listen, I don't understand how this woman could stand up in front of people or those people's listening to this bullshit that she's talking. I mean, I would never, I mean, I couldn't see myself sitting in sitting anywhere listening to that. Wow. I mean, clowned her. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how they put up with it at all. I mean, it's just crazy. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I can't get past that clip. There's no way. See, now I know that they were in this because it's a DEI class or some horse shit that they had to do for their corporation, and each one of them had to sign their name. Each one of them are probably in some kind of management position or some shit, taking this training. So they got to sit there and take that training. Now, let me ask, I mean, all I can say is, do you think these people felt better about this course after that shit was over? Hell no. It's just uncanny. It's just fucking uncanny. Holy shit.
When I think about the trauma that Black men have gone through, along with the trauma that a Black woman has gone through, we're able to heal each other because we know each other's pain.
That y'all are born into a life to not be human, and that's what y'all are taught to do, to be demons. So in this particular way, white people are all racist.
We know our ancestors' pain. Black men.
Hey, Curtis, man, tell me she's trolling and everybody in the audience is in on it. Right? I mean, to me, that lady has to be trolling, and everybody in the audience is in on it because there's no goddamn way that regular people will sit there and listen to somebody tell them they're not human. And, you know, the sad part about it is that she might and probably is not trolling. There's probably it's just incredible. I can't take it. And this chick, you know, talking about what Black men and Black women trauma bonding about what? Let me see what they're going to do.
Need a Black woman, and Black women need a Black man to help us be better. And because we know each other, we need each other to heal those wounds that were never really treated.
The way the system was created, when the United States was founded, it was white men that got drunk and made a nation on the backs of slaves. Everything here you see was built by slaves, and I know you know. But being recorded, I don't have time for this anymore. That's why I'm telling you. Where do you stand? I don't have time for this anymore. That's why I'm telling you. Where do you stand? There's no middle ground. It's either them or us, and it's us. We have to stand with the people, bro. And you are representing right now the black community. Don't ask where they are. You are here. You are the community. I am the Puerto Rican community. So stand with us. Don't be divisive. Because you know what? You sound a little bit like the dumbasses that say all lives matter.
But I think it's also really important for us to know that we have the power to choose how we see ourselves.
Sure.
We will be fortified to fight all of these other external issues when we pour into ourselves enough to say, I love me. I am not the conditions that surround me. I am not my experience. I am more.
Yeah, you're more than your experience, but can you change your condition? I mean, what the hell are you talking about? You know, I mean, it's just, oh my goodness, man. Anyway, so listen, now, the reason why I even started talking about this obesity is the lift chick. Okay, so my left, we're going to get into that right now. So the lift chick, we all know, is suing the lift because the driver says, listen, you know what? You can't fit into my car. And I don't want to ruin my car because of, because you can't fit in it, and any of us who's, I guess, oh man, what did I do? Let me do this. Let me do this. Not that. This shit crazy. Where's it at? Do I still have it? Nah, I messed it up. I got to go back and get it. Let me go ahead and do this. Oh boy. I'll find it. Let me click on it. Not the Breakfast Club. There we go. There we go.
For something other than her music.
Fans know her as Dank Damas, and they're fuming after a Lyft driver allegedly denied her a ride because of her size. And Fox News' Jessica Dubnak is live in Detroit with this story. And my goodness, tell us how this all unfolded here, Jessica.
Well, it all unfolded on video. Deja Banlane whipped out her phone when this all happened. Now, the Lyft driver, he was kind enough and apologetic, but refused her a ride and said that she would not fit and that her weight couldn't be handled by his tires. Now she's filing a lawsuit.
Have you been in cars that size before?
Yes, I have. I've been in cars smarter than that,
Deja Blanding tells us she was just trying to get to a Detroit Lions watch party this month when her Lyft rolled up.
Come on, man. Come on. You're not fitting in the back of that car. First of all, and the guy, listen, this is the thing. Malcolm X said there's nothing worse than nothing more. Our biggest enemy is the white liberal, okay? They're trying to make a story out of this shit. Nobody tells her that you're fucking fat. You're so big that that you're in danger. You're in danger. Your health is in danger. Everything's in danger. The Lyft driver, you should have told him that you needed extra seats. I mean, on the plane, you got to buy 2 tickets or 3 tickets or whatever the hell it is. If he had a rule that I can't put you in my back seat because if you can't buckle in with the seat belts, then I can't take you. Now, he wasn't thinking on his feet, but I'm thinking that, he could have just said, listen, you got to be able to use your seatbelt. If I was going to get on a plane, they would say you can't sit down unless you can get a seatbelt. Now, there's no seatbelt in America that's going to fit this woman. And no, she could not. She might be able to squeeze it in that car, but it's a safety hazard. And yes, because her weight is not distributed nice, it would be on all of those shocks. And wherever she sat, though, that wheel well would be tipped. The scales would tip. They put weight, even if you ever flown on a small plane, they distribute the weight of the passengers on a plane. You know, they're not going to have everybody sitting on one side. They want to try to distribute the weight, especially the small ones. I mean,
Lions watch party this month when her lift rolled up.
As I'm walking, I see him like making faces or whatever. I'm like, oh man.
She already knew.
I can fit in this car.
Believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe it.
He told her there's not enough room in his car.
The kicker part was when he started to talk about his tires. You know, I feel like that was a slap in the face. That was like my tires, you know, like.
The driver said his tires could not handle her.
his tires might not be able to handle the axle, all that shit. What is a kick in the face? Now, I hope he got, unfortunately, now he's going to have to spend some money getting a lawyer and going through this shit. And the worst part of this is coming up, all right? This is not even the worst part.
Her weight.
Every big person you turn down because they can't fit in your car?
Yeah, because they need to order
Man, you don't get people as big as you.
He apologized, canceled the ride, and left her there. The rapper says she's pretty tough. Dank DeMoss, as she's known at the mic, is crushed by the whole situation.
I just want them to know, like, it really hurt my feelings.
It looks like Lyft might be hurting pretty soon, too.
I knew it was illegal and I knew that it was wrong.
Her attorneys, John Marco and Zach Runyon, say weight is a protected characteristic in Michigan by law.
It would be no different than a driver pulling up and saying, I don't want to have black people in my car, or I don't want to have.
See, this is the thing, right? The thing that most black people, and the fact that we're still on the plantation, is everybody uses us as a springboard to get their bullshit out there. Nobody's born fat like that. Our being black is not a fucking condition. It's not. And so when they started piling on this bullshit, excuse me, how do you make being fat a condition that's protected? Being fat is a condition that you need to treat. You need to treat it. So now this guy's going to get sued because this chick can't fit in the back of his car. Now, I'm saying he got to get a good lawyer, and they got to come up with an angle that says, listen, he was not only worrying about him, but he was worrying about safety. He was worrying about. And the truth of the matter is she could not safely fit in the back of that car. There's no doubt about it. She could squeeze her ass in there, yeah, but in one accident or whatever, and his car would, maybe it's not damaged forever, but it would be damaged. So I guess everybody's talking about this case, but
Christians in my car or Muslims in my car. It's the same. Under the law, it's the same.
Under the law, it's the same, and the law is messed up. They need to change the law.
Other full-figured
they need to
folks
get
have
the
reached out
liberals
saying
out
the
of
same
office.
thing happened to them.
From the governor all the way down.
Believe me, you can.
Yes, I can. I really want people to see like what we go through as bigger people,
We did reach out to Lyft. They did not get back with us in time for this story. Now, Lyft, Uber, those rideshare companies, they can refuse passengers based on a perceived security threat. But according to Deja's attorneys, you cannot discriminate based on someone's weight. It's very clear in that cell phone video. That is why he denied her ride.
No, it's not clear that it was just not based on her weight. It was based on safety. It was based on she can't wear a seatbelt. It's based on the fact that she couldn't fit in his car. It's not based just because she was fat. It wasn't. It's more than that. She's more than just fat. She's a safety hazard going in the back of his car.
Reporting live on Detroit's west side, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
And because these Lyft drivers, their own personal rides, they turn people away, but they have some discretion, you're saying, but when it comes to some of these protected liberties, no.
That is what the attorneys are saying, and they said they had enough to file suit. They have filed that lawsuit, and Lyft has been served, but we will see what happens. We'll stay in touch with Deja.
Yeah, it's interesting because you said so many people came forward after this, so clearly it's an issue out there right now. Thanks, Jessica.
So are you really telling me?
The worst thing that could happen to society is she wins this case. That's the worst thing that could happen. You know, I'm just saying, listen, you know, the guy should have some kind of discretion over who he lets in his car. And even if this, and the fact that the thing that needs to be attacked is that shouldn't be a protected class, right? That's not a protected class. That's a self-inflicted wound. And we shouldn't be protecting people who self-inflict their wounds like that. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So anyway, listen, I don't know. I'm sure it's kind of funny that this is happening now with Trump signing all these executive orders, because even the big woman who was saying racism made her fat because she wants to eat hoagies and drink sugary drinks that she got fat because the diets don't work the same. What are you talking about? Just eat something different. You don't have to be on a diet. Just change your diet. Go on any other diet besides what you're actually eating to give yourself an excuse to be big. Right? I don't have people tell me, yeah, you're fat and blah, 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 but I don't make no goddamn excuses for it. I don't. I mean, over the years, traveling in hotels and this and that and shit, man, it happens. You get out of balance, you get overweight, and you need to do something about it. You don't sit there and blame the goddamn world. Now, that video showing that big woman telling white people what she was telling them, which was absolutely a stroke of genius. But it's incredible because no way could some white guy stand up and say all of that stuff about a black woman. It was crazy. That video has to be a troll. I mean, it just has. I can't really see that shit being a serious session, but it probably was, and it's probably scary. And that's why Trump is writing all these executive orders, getting that shit out of all of organizations. No DEI, none of these stupid classes, none of that stuff. Anyway, I just thought I'd go ahead and get that shit off my chest. And hey, listen, if you're big and you're fat, stop trying to sugarcoat it. Do whatever you can to start losing some weight. Small chunks, but stop making excuses. And just like Phil Scott says, we can't tell men to stop doing what men do. Men, guys are gonna be taking advantage of the big girls. That's just not gonna stop. I'm not even gonna waste time because men's nature is men's nature. And so but the big girls don't have to acquiesce to that. But big guys too, we can get in the gym. So if you're a big guy, like I said, if you're a fat man, the pressure on you is different than it is for a fat woman because you don't have nowhere to run. Nobody gives a shit about your feelings. You're a fat guy. Nobody's going to coddle you. Nobody's going to give you euphemisms and say, you're still handsome and all that shit. No, you're a fat bastard. That's what they say about big fat men. Well, women, they want to be coddled. You still look good, girl. Yeah, that drape looks real good on you. By the way, maybe you shouldn't wear stripes that go vertical, go horizontal across your body. Maybe you shouldn't wear that. So, anyway, I'm out of here. Listen, marriage, politics, and sports. Over and out. Hey, listen, we all need to lose some weight, man, for the black community's sake. We all do, except the people who don't. And if you're in good shape, tell your fat friends to get in the gym with you. Our pain. Marriage, politics, and sports. Over and out.